This is the most famous Ferguson 20 man in Ireland at the minute with these viral videos. So we'll let me load up here now and we'll see. Sean, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Stan. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Yeah, well,
So, are you in the workshop or are you in the house or what are you at?
I'm out in the shade here now. Hang on, I'm trying to see, can I turn on my camera or what? How does it work?
Should be a little symbol in the screen there with a camera on it. Just press that and then you see save on the bottom in red. Just press that and it should
Where the
bring
fuck
it.
is it? Oh, yeah. Oh, I don't like showing my face. I'll turn it around the other way. Can I turn it around?
That's fine. You
Yeah.
can just turn it back for whatever you're routing that.
Yeah, I'm faking, 1 second now. Jeez, 1 second now, Stan, sorry.
Catching you on the hop now.
No, I just don't like showing my face, that's all.
That's fine.
No. Yeah, no, I was out in the other shed there. I took the head off I have a third engine there, a third of 3 or 4, but I took the head off it just to see what the block was like because there's a dent in there where the combustion chamber sits in this block. And I wasn't just happy with the other block with the scrape, even though I heated it and checked it and everything. I took pictures and zoomed in, and I'm fairly confident it's not a crack, but at the same time, I'm not 100% confident in it. So when there was a third engine sitting there, I said, Jesus, I'll rip that one off and just see. And I'm after ripping it off there now. The head is good on it, and the block is good on it. So I'm after changing direction now and going to rebuild that block with the pump off the other one and its own original head. Yeah. And this block with the engine in it, I'm going to if I can leave it to one side. We might rebuild it in the future or something. But for now, with the Fergie and the lake coming up in June, I'm just going to plough on with the change in plan and start making progress now instead of standing in the one spot.
Right, now, before we go any further, you may introduce yourself.
Jesus, what do I say? You all know my name is Sean Kinney and I'm from Ballinasloe. I suppose I'm 39 and I suppose I'm a new... 39? Yeah, 39, yeah. Only a chap. The hairline of a 50-year-old. But what do you call it? They have a newfound interest, I suppose, the last year in all things mechanics and oil and all that kind of thing. I always had an interest in welding and out in the workshop and that kind of thing, but always kind of shied away from taking the chance and ripping things apart and building them myself. And
what's the day job? Or can you tell us?
I'm a civil engineer, yeah. So yeah, I'm a road design engineer. That's what I work at now. Day job 9 to 5 in an office. So I have to come out here to readjust and recalibrate if I can recalibrate the what do you call them fucking things? They regulate myself. So that's what I do now. That's what I do for a crush. I suppose I worked with contractors for years on sites, building. I was on the railway for a lot of years, and then I went working with Ward and Burke in England. And I was lucky enough. Then I came back, got a job at DSB, and then I changed job again. And I am where I am now. And lucky for me, it's something that I enjoy as well, you know. And I really do enjoy it. And you know, I've put down some good days at it, and you know, it's nice to be able to kind of do this work as well then, because there's a lot of different things that drive me on this kind of work, you know. What do you call it?
And is the V8 Fergie the first one that you routed at, or?
Yeah, it's the first. That was the first one really that I kind of top to bottom, you know, tackled and finished myself. You know, done. Now I had the plan for. Sorry, say that again.
What brought you about getting into that or putting the V8 in it? What was the thinking behind it? Or?
Look, I was always kind of stupid and always kind of had fucking cars in the bog and bikes and stuff, and was always kind of doing things differently. And what do you call it? One of my friends sent me a video years ago of a fella with a Volvo out somewhere in Europe, and he was flying around the field with a turbo petrol engine in it, and I said, geez, that would be cool. And what do you call it? I've always kind of been welding and making things out in the shed and that. And one day I just kind of got a notion that, you know, geez, I wouldn't mind putting a project down or full project behind me. And I just looked up V8 engines and done deal. And I bought that engine off a lad over the phone in Dundee, and next thing I was looking on Facebook and I seen a group modified Ferguson's, and the V8 kind of seemed to be the engine of choice that a lot of them were using, or the 3 litre or the 2 litre TDI PD engine. And I kind of said, "Fuck it, that's what I'll go with." So I saw that Rover engine, and when I rang a man about it, he asked me, "Are you going to run it with carburetors, or there's fuel injection on it, but I have carburetors here for it?" And honestly, straight up, I didn't know what he was talking about. I said it to him. I said, "I don't know what you're talking about." I said, "But I'm going to learn it." And he was kind of saying, "Jesus, like he wanted the engine to go to a good home because he had minded it for years after he brought a Jeep back from England, and he changed the engine out for a diesel." And he was kind of apprehensive about letting me have it in. And I said, I just kind of reassured him, "Look, I told him what I was going to do." And he said, "Geez, I'd be happy to see that." And it was funny, the kind of stars aligned them with the tractor. I said, "Geez, I had the engine." Then I got the engine, like it was like 200 or 250 euros. And what do you call it? Then I put an ad in Dundee looking for a back end of a Ferguson 20. And geez, a lad rang me from Kerry, and he had one, and he came up with it, and he came up with a spare block because the tractor had an engine on it, but the block was cracked. And he came all the way from Kerry with it, like it was small money, like I think it was less than 1,000. And like I couldn't believe it. He landed here, he'd landed into ballinasloe, and he rang me, and geez, I thought he was joking. And next thing I went to meet him, and geez, there he was, and I didn't know if he was genuine or what he was. And got talking to him, and he was as straight as a die. So he came out to the house, and we took off the tractor, and it all sat there for a good while then. But what do you call it? Personal circumstances were kind of tough the last few years as well. I lost a very good friend of mine, and I lost a son there as well recently enough, and that opened up my eyes to kind of thinking that life's too short, and if you want to do something, you kind of have to do it there and then, because blink of an eye, life passes you by, and there's no point. I've said it that many times, it rolls off the tongue, like, but there's no point sitting there in your last few days and thinking, should have done this or should have done that. So kind of anything that I kind of want to do now within reason, I'm trying to do it, and it's kind of a coping mechanism as well with everything that's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. And this charity that you're doing, this Fergie with the Lake, is that what you call it?
Yeah, Fergie and the Lake. Yeah. It's for Jack and Jill, and that comes back again to my young lad Aidan. We had Jack and Jill nurse here in the house for 3 years, and like you wouldn't realise what to do until you need them, and they're lifesavers really, like, and the love and the care and the attention that they brought Aidan was just something else, and it made the difference between us being able to have him at home and not, like. And it made his journey that bit more easy for him, and I'd be forever indebted to them then, and when the Fergie and the Lake came up first, I go over here and plug in the phone, and the Fergie and the Lake came up first. I said, "Jesus, the class, I'll do that. I'll go on that now with the V8." And sure, as soon as I contacted them, they were kind of saying, "Oh no, it's original only," and that kind of thing, and I was kind of saying, "I fucked them anyway," And next thing I heard it was for Jack and Jill, and I said, "Jesus, do you know what now? I'd love to go on that run because it's for Jack and Jill." And I contacted the man and I told him the crack, and I said, I understand that the V8 isn't suitable, and I'll try and pick up another yoke that is." And next thing when I contacted them and told them kind of why I was looking to go on the run, they understood, and one of them actually asked me would I get involved in helping with organising, and I said yeah, no bother, and because I knew a good few people working with Jack and Jill as well then, and so I was delighted to get on board with them then, and it's kind of become my obsession now the last few months really, and but we're in a good place with it now. We have it well organised. We have a website put together there now, it's fergieandthelake.ie, and we have online registration system set up, but unfortunately that was supposed to be running Paddy's Day yesterday, but with all things, parades and few pints and everything else, I just didn't get it set up. I thought I had it ready to go, but I hadn't, and there was a few teething problems with it today, so it'll be set up in the morning. So you have to pre-register, and you just go online there, and there's a website, there'll be a link in the website, it'll bring you over to a registration site, and it's a 2-day run around Lough Derg, which I never heard of before, and there's not.
You're breaking up a little bit, Sean.
Can you hear me?
You must have moved, did you?
Can you hear me now?
You were.
Now, can you hear me?
Now we can hear you, yeah.
Yeah, so they what do you call it? Port Road, the Vintage Club in Port Road are entertaining us for the night and have food on, and there'll be entertainment there for people to come and see the tractors and have a bit of a barbecue and everything. So, weather-wise, that's probably the only thing that could scupper it. Like, but if it's a good summer's day, sure, geez, there won't be a nicer place to be in Ireland than beside Lough Derg with a gang of vintage. It's the 15th and the 16th of June.
Yeah. Well, look, we'll do whatever we can to push this going forward now. That I'm glad we got you on now, because I knew there was definitely a connection to you with the charity that you're at with the Fergie run. So I'm glad we got you on now to help you boost that as best we can now.
I appreciate that.
Absolutely. And hey, I'm just going to go back to some of the comments, because man, the comments blew up there in the last few minutes. Some people are giving up. Some people are giving up about the rage, so we'll ignore them ones. Where are we going? They're all giving up about the rage.
What age?
They're all saying they're only in their 40s as well, and they're telling themselves that they're not.
Sorry, Stan, it's actually the 14th and 15th of June, not the 15th, 16th, 14th, 15th, the Saturday and Sunday.
Right.
See, Mullen there, whatever comment, he's one of the main organisers of it there.
Where are we going with the comments now? Frigo Man says, long time no see, Sean. He's that's Keith from Galway Garden Machinery of one time. You must know him. He's a guy.
Yeah.
He's a Galway City. Where else have we gone? There's Garrod. Good evening from Cork, Ireland. John says, good evening, gentlemen. Where else have we gone? So many comments, you can't read them all. Where else have we gone? There's a good few people now, a few condolences now over what you said now with your son now. None of us.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I don't really talk about that online, to be honest. But at the same time, Joe, I don't not talk about it. I talk about it an awful lot to people that know me.
Yeah. Look, there's a nice bunch of people in the comments there now, and they would know to judge you for being upset over it like that now.
I know, I don't get upset about Stan, to be honest. It's our thing, and that's just the way it is. And it's going to be there forevermore, and we just have to bring it with us. And if it's going to be upsetting us, like, you know what I mean, it's going to be a long haul if that's what it's going to be doing. So just have to kind of find a way to bring it with us and make it part of our lives
and help people along the way. That's
it.
Someone did ask in the comments, what is Jack and Jill Foundation for the people that don't know?
I tell you now, I can fully relate to that question, because I would never have had a clue what Jack and Jill was or is, and I'd have seen them and be like, oh, another charity looking for something, kind of thing. And when I ended up in the neurologist's office, and he said to me that there's an organisation that might be able to help, because like the illness was, like, Aidan was perfectly healthy up to age 2, and then he just started to regress, and it was like wildfire, and it was very hard to manage, and there was a lot of unanswered questions. What was causing it? Could we help it? All these kind of things. And eventually, when we got our diagnosis, the neurologist, at the time, kind of said it as it is, as they have to. And I remember saying to him, like, Jesus Christ, what can we do? Or what are we going to do? Or what's the Jesus? Where do we go next? And he said, there's an organisation there. Like he tried to kind of break it a bit easy to me. Like he goes, there's an organisation there that kind of help, with nurses, and there's a few nurses here in the hospital that kind of help people that need a bit of help. And I was like, are you serious? I said, there's people that work in this hospital that's already overrun that might have time to help. I said, like, we're in a dire situation. Like, how are they going to be able to help us? And next thing he goes, well, have you heard of Jack and Jill? And I was like, no, I've heard of the name, but I don't know what to do. And next thing he goes, well, look he said, he actually had the life limiting illness coordinator lined up to come into us, and if we were able for it, and because he knew what he was going to be telling us. And he said, look he said, I have a person here that'll talk to you and kind of maybe explain things a bit better. And that lady came in and she said about Jack and Jill, and I was like, look tell us what it is like, tell us what we need, tell us what's going forward. I said, this situation isn't changing, and I said, it's after really kind of, we had our fears, we had our doubts about what's going on, but now we know, and we have to fucking face it head on. And she was like, right, Jack and Jill are an organisation that have nurses that come to your home for a certain number of hours a week and help you with the care, and their aim is to keep the children at home in their family surroundings for as long as possible and out of hospital, and to also give the family a chance to recoup and get time for themselves and time to rest, so when they're not there, that you're able to do the care. Now, Aiden's care was 24/7. It was 24/7, and it was myself and Deirdre, the wife, and we had a young child at the time. Darren was only a baby at the time, and so we got a nurse. We got a fantastic nurse. I'd say we got the best nurse in the country, Zelda. And Zelda Horn came, and but they came for, like, we got the max allowance at the time because things were severe. It's like 12 hours a week, which people might think, geez, what's 12 hours? That's nothing. But that's 3-4 hour visits, like, which, if you think about it, if you have a visitor in your house 3 times a week for 4 hours at a time, it's actually a lot of your time. Yeah. So, like, that's the way it worked in. And then we worked with the nurse, at certain weeks then, like, say, I'd be off, and we wouldn't need as many hours, or other weeks then, we might be hoping to go to a wedding and things like that, and she'd be able to help us then and stay. She'd stay overnight and things like that. But it basically allows you to have another life, allows you to have a sort of a normal life, if that makes sense, while you have all this going on, and make sure that you're always kind of able to rest and you have the energy. But it's for kids, right, up to 6 years of age with neurological. Sorry, I'll just plug in the phone to charge it. With neurological diseases. Yeah. So in Ireland, there's actually no support for kids under 6. So from the HSE, so it was born out of necessity from a fella called Jonathan Irwin, and when his son was born, there was no support whatsoever, and they were left kind of stranded, trying to care for him, like, they weren't able, like, they were, you wouldn't have the resources to care for a child so sick at home, and he established Jack and Jill. So basically, it's for kids under 6 years of age to have neurological diseases or ailments, and they provide critical nursing care in the home, in the child's home. So when you hear Jack and Jill, it's serious. It's not it's not a fucking it's not a headache. It's a serious illness. So anybody with neurological life illnesses. So, yeah. But it's some people get mixed up with Laura Lynn. Laura Lynn is very similar, but it's more of a respite than home care. But Laura Lynn are kind of breaking into that now as well. They're doing a bit of that because there is a required need and everything else. But it's Jack and Jill's. That's Jack and Jill's thing, and they're very, very good at it. They've great nurses, and they're well established. And the liaison nurses then that go around and meet with the family and make sure the family everything is going right, and they're just great people. That's it, and a lot of it sounds cliche, like, but like, I couldn't describe about how important they are or what they've done for us here, like, do you know what I mean? And and even for a little boy, like, all the different things they brought to him.
Well, it's bad that without outside sources that can do such great work, and you hear about all the shambles that goes on in the HSE, it'll break your heart, like.
I have my two pence worth on that as well. Like, look, we were in the real thick end of the system, and my best friend was in the thick end of the system too. He got cancer when he was like, you know, we Aidan's thing was fairly rare, so we linked up with families all around the world with that had it, you know, and that was actually, the neurologist actually said that. He said, you need to go on the forums, you need to find other families that have kids with this illness. He said, because they know how to look after them. And he says, we can advise on the medications and that. He said, but the day-to-day minding, you have to talk to other families. So we went and we found them, and there's actually great resources online, and even things like Facebook, like there's groups there with parents, and they share all kinds of information. But they like, there's families in America now, like, say, you think America is brilliant and everything else, and like, Jesus Christ, God love them, like, you know, compared to what we get here with supplies and, you know, all the medical equipment and the medication supports, they're up the creek without a paddle in America. Like, they're literally, they have to do, the insurance won't cover anything, there's no public care, and like, it's horrendous what's going on in Ireland. Like, you know, all the day and everything, you know, there was a good system in place there with the HSE. So kind of, that is one thing I will say, but the whole other side to it as well, like, and it'll take another full evening to talk about it, but there's a whole other side with the newborn screening, and the, like, Aidan's illness now today is actually treatable, but if a child is born and they have it, it's not tested in the newborn screening, so they won't know until it becomes symptomatic, so they'll actually, they're not going to survive it, you know. But there is a treatment, and there is a newborn screening regime in other countries, even as close as England, but Ireland haven't implemented it yet. But because of, like, what we'd say, like, you know, the HC, they're backwards and they got everything wrong, it was actually like that. But myself and another father, now the other father more so than myself, actually done the legwork and went to the department buildings and went to the Dáil and all the different places, and they got them to reverse their decision on the implementation of the treatment, and through Rare Ireland, and there's an advocacy program there and stuff like that, and we got them to see the light on it. It's still not in place, but it's in a lot better place than it was. But we found people that would listen, and when we were talking since, you know, and we weren't just kind of standing there crying, wishing they did something different. You know, we got the supplier of the medication to come into the room and talk to them and everything else, and Stephen Donnelly at the time was the minister, and he actually approved it for the treatment abroad, on the treatment abroad scheme. So it's a pity you have to be so kind of on the ball and doing things, and it takes so long. But there is a middling enough system there. Like, there's a lot of shambles, but it is a middling enough system when you're up Schitt's Creek. And I tell you now, for all the talk about America and Australia and everything else, from my experience, Ireland is probably one of the countries if you're sick.
Well, in America, unless you have money, you're going to die.
Yeah, but like, even dying is one thing, Stan, dying uncomfortably is another thing. You know, like, there's kids there in America, and like, they wouldn't even give them a buggy, like, or give them a wheelchair or anything, like.
Yeah.
So, you know, and whereas in Ireland, like, you know, you have OTs, you have physiotherapists. Now look, there's plenty of people that aren't able to navigate the system as well as we were. And lucky enough, like, you know, might see it never talking, so what do you call it? I was able to. I'd never take no for an answer, and if I knew something wasn't right, I was able to stay going until I got the right answer. But like, other families that find themselves in the dire situations that we did, they wouldn't have the energy. Do you know what I mean? Because they're too busy actually doing the physical work. But you know, we navigated the system as best as we could for them. You know, you couldn't but not do the best for them. But that's the HSE.
So that's where.
Any other questions coming there?
So that's where all that was born from. Where are we going? People there. David Kavanagh, even all. Love this kind of show. Badger says, met Sean at a couple of events and an absolute gentleman. He surely is. Trailer Doctor says, fair play, Sean. And Mary says, great support system to have, as in our Limerick.
Yeah. And Badger, he's a cool old tractor. He has a Doe Ferguson 35. She's cool oak. Done to a T. Jesus Christ. Yeah, she's 235s, one in front of the other.
Oh.
But yeah, Farmer Phil done a good video on it actually. But he changed gears the whole lot from one tractor. He has electric actuators on the forward tractor.
I see the video of that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's Jesus Christ, is cool yoke now, like, and a real lot of work went into it, and
That's some work.
he has it presented well. In fairness, it's finished to a T, whereas my yoke is as rough as a dog.
You get time sometime to make it more presentable, but it's
Yeah, well, that's it. Like, my thing is get out the door, and go on to the next project. But at some stage, I'll fucking slow down a small bit and put things right.
and then I was saying there we're hoping to run 100 Fergie 20s around Loughdorg from Portumna Workhouse Saturday the 20 or Saturday the 14th of June. Overnight camping in Portroe, and all are welcome to come along. Like how long the journey is it around Portumna?
Yeah, it's 65 kilometres driving on the first day, so that'll bring you from Portumna around to Portroe, and the second day in is 45 kilometres. So it's a nice bit of driving, but we'll have a few sandwich stops along the way, and like, I don't know, do you know Loughdorg, but like the views there and the scenery, like, it's absolutely just out of this world.
Yeah.
And like the thought of having 100 odd Ferguson 20s running one in front of the other is fairly cool. Like, the roads are quiet as well. Like, we've mapped out there, and you'll see the routes on the website. Okay. But we're hoping now that it'll be a great event. You know, it's really something really different. Like, you know, we all have had our tractor runs and go to them regularly, but this is just something different, and it's a good chance to get your Ferguson 20 out, because your Ferguson 20 doesn't really suit your regular tractor runs. And you know, there's plenty of lads that have these in sheds, and they're only egging to get them out, and you know, they're not suitable, like, say, for the regular tractor runs. So this will be their opportunity.
Brilliant.
So, and that's kind of what I'm at here on TikTok as well. I started putting up the videos of the restoration and the V8, I suppose, is its own thing, and that's cool as well. I like showing it off, but the more people that we can encourage to get out and get the tractor out, the better.
But I'd be honest with you, Sean. I'd say you wouldn't have got as much traction if you hadn't built the V8 for it.
Yeah, the V8 is a real crowd pleaser. Like, people love it. Like, you know, and it is cool. Like, Jesus Christ Almighty, it's a rocket, and you know, it's dangerous, and it's loud, and it's all the things that people like us like, you know.
And another thing as well is your little short. Like, I know I robbed a few of your sounds there about being blessed with ignorance and all that.
Yeah.
It definitely little video, like, and that's it. There's lots of people make 5 and 10 minute videos talking about something that could be said in 1 minute, and you're able to do 30-second videos. Now, some of your videos are very short, but you're able to do a 30-second video and it gives enough, and a lad will follow along then, because he wants to see the rest. You have to draw it in, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
well,
you're working as well, though, in fairness.
Yeah, well, look, at my thing is when I start talking, I kind of shut up a lot of the time, and it's kind of a nervous tick, if you like. But I love when I'm doing something, I'd say, fuck it, you know what, now I'll throw that up there and say it, get it over and done with, rip off the bandage and post it. Whereas if I think about it, I end up not putting it up, because I start thinking, oh, such a lad will say this, or such a lad will fucking see that, or such a lad will do another thing. But if I just do it quick, put it up, rip off the bandage, and turn away from it, that's when I get, you know, that's what I like doing. But what I like about the TikTok is the advice. You know, you put up something there, you have a genuine question. Like, most of my questions here are, you know, I need the help, and that's it, because I don't know what I'm looking at. And you get the comments and the messages, and you know, like, it's kind of, it's very, very good, like the amount of help and good help that's out there. Whereas one time, you know, like, you're kind of stuck. If your local man that knew everything didn't like you were goose. You'd never be able to find out anything. But the TikTok, I like it. Throughout the question, lads have a chance to respond if they want. They can send a private message. A good few lads have looked me up on Facebook, sent me messages on Facebook. I brought up my number there a few times, and what do you call it? Brought up my number a few times, and there's a core group there now that fucking ring me and text me anytime to see a video going up with the answer straight away, and you know, it's brilliant. And you know, I hope to meet these people someday, because, like, sure, you know, it's great to have the opportunity. And even Badger there, like, you know, I met him there at a few shows, and you know, isn't it lovely to be able to go to a show on a Sunday there, and you know, the young lad is with me, Darren is with me there, and you know, stand and talk to somebody for a few minutes about something that you're interested in. And, Darren would even say, who's that? And I'd say, I don't know who it is. It's just somebody I know from going to the shows. And, it's lovely. It shows him then as well, like that, that's, even though I wouldn't be the best socially, I can still go out and do the likes of that, like.
Yeah. But with the help we got, a lot of people will just go to this run and shake their head with nothing else for cause when it comes out in June. So that'll be...
Yeah, I'm sorry, no, I keep having to move because I've charged the phone, but yeah, hopefully, we're hoping. And like that as well, anybody that wants to come and see the spectacle along the way, or even in Portumna there, we're hoping to display a few tractors and the V8 and things like that on them before we head off. It'll be a lovely day for anybody, really. And even in Port Row that night, like, there's a big barbecue being put on by the community group in Port Row, and like, everybody's welcome to come to that, and that'll be a good night out for anybody. And we're hoping for a kind of a festival feel, and there'll be music, there'll be burgers, there'll be pints, and that'll be a chance for anybody who wants to come down. And I have the tyre changing thing there. You might have seen that earlier on. It on a video, and most of the people that are kind of into this crack, would enjoy something like that. It's a bit of a challenge who can do it the quickest, and it's what you call it. We'll have that set up in the day and a few other bits. And if anybody has any other ideas, send them on or ring me and tell me, or if you want to display your yoke in Portumna that morning or anything, or along the way, just get on to me there. We'll sort out the situation.
Because I seen that video earlier on with the wheel changing thing, and I was wondering the other day when I seen it what it was about. I never realised it all clicked with me about the charity. And that's when, now people won't believe, I text you at 6 o'clock this evening and said, will you come live tonight? And he said, he'll run a mile, I said. BJ, you took the challenge straight away. Fair play.
As I said, you can't shut me up once I start. But I don't like the limelight or anything like that. But at the same time, I like a bit of crack. And like I say, we're all kind of like-minded people. And we're all like-minded people. And the message is a good one. And why not? Like, sometimes you might be afraid to stick your head out or say something, or you might belong in this group or that group. But sure, here we're all birds of a feather, and we're all kind of at the same crack. And there's no harm in getting involved, and the more you get involved, the more it'll work, I suppose, isn't that it?
That's it. And we'll all help. Everyone will share, and everyone will donate, and hopefully a few of us can go up there. And I don't have a Ferguson 20, but sure, with the help of God, that week the planets align for that weekend, and I can go up there and we'll get a look. And
you might go on a recovery yoke there or something, with a few spanners, just in case somebody needs a filter changed and cleaned or something like that. It'd be no harm to have somebody that's able to use the vice grips on board.
I'll be wearing my good clothes.
I tell you, I could bring that whole steam washer I bought, and you could fix that while you're waiting for us to come back.
Yeah, you could drive off it with the tractor. That's what you could do.
And it'll be good content.
Well, come here. Do you want a trophy? I wouldn't mind making a trophy for that. Do you want even something to raffle or something?
Yeah, we'll I'll talk to Ivan there, yeah. Definitely, we'll do something, yeah. Definitely, we'll do something. We don't put it up for yeah, that's actually a cool piece. Is it? What's that, a timing chain, is it?
Timing chain. That one's for a motorcycle run now in a couple of weeks' time. So,
St. Luke's, is it?
No, it's actually it's a suicide remembrance one, but it's going to Pieta House, the funds. And this is another one I've been working on. Now this is not for charity. I'm making a couple of different ones of these for a couple of different lads. As you can see, made of Allen keys as to represent a man called Alan. So a couple of spanners, a gearbox. He's made up of a couple of spare parts. Does anyone know what this is at the bottom?
That's a stillage shoe.
A foot for a stillage.
Off a scaffold stillage. Yeah. What do you call it? No, definitely, Sam. We'll get something, whether it's something tractor related or for the wheel changing. We'll definitely get you to put something together.
but even to make a trophy of some sort of a tractor, if you wanted to not even say like the raffling. Sometimes the raffle doesn't make enough money because if you had 100 tickets to sell and you only sold 20, you don't get enough money out of it. If you,
and it's a lot of hassle.
Yeah, if you were to auction it, you'd probably get more money. Because that's what's going to happen to this. So that was going in a raffle, and now there's actually so much interest from all the bikers. They all want it, so they said, right, we're going to auction it, highest bidder. So
yeah, we'll no, definitely put something together, Stan. We'll like you say like that now. Show it in advance, and we'll pick the best route for it. Then
Yeah, because some lads have said to me that they'd give me $250 for that. So if you got that,
yeah, but that's it.
If you got that, wouldn't it be nice? A nice touch. $250.
Yeah, it would like and what do you call it? Like I say again, it's what we're into, it's what we do. Do you know what I mean? That's the direction. Like it all ties in lovely with the whole thing. So no, you put something together, tractor orientated, and.
But if I was to do it, Sean, I really think I need to go to your place and get some Ferguson bits and make it out of Ferguson scrap parts.
Yeah. Make your way down, Sam, whenever suits you. Head for ballinasloe. When you get near, give me a call.
Would that make it more authentic that we made it out of nuts and bolts and gears? And like, you obviously know other 20 men. Like if someone had a split gearbox with damaged gears or something, that we could things like that. That'd be the coolest bit, to make it primarily all out 20 bits. Obviously bits that are of no use.
We'll go with that, Sam, because even on my own bits here, I'm looking at a brake drum there that's covered in oil. That'll be good for nothing. That'll be a good base for something. And what do you call it? Straight away when you mentioned the gearbox, I know I have a man there that has a gearbox in a plastic crate in bits. And what do you call it? I get the bits off him. And there's a great breaker here near us here, Brady's, and I'll go down to Tony and see what he has, and we'll get bits, and that'll be the best way to do it. And sure, look what you see the crack here with Aidan, and that when you come, we'll show you the few bits he had, and you might be able to incorporate him into it somewhere or another.
I think I might have a couple of vintage spanners somewhere, or if they had vintage spanners, we'll try add vintage spanners into it at some point to do some part of it. But
you start putting your thinking cap on, so and organise coming down here to me some evening or weekend, and we'll work it.
I find it hard to sleep at night now without taking on another project now, but sure, here we go.
Oh yeah, which that's the fucking disease, isn't it? Like, do you know what I mean? I'm the same. Like, Dear just fucking banging on there with a wardrobe for the last fucking year and a half, and she's on about getting a new plane. I don't know, it's to replace me here to do the work. But how could you go around the middle of this, like, and then the next person that comes looking for something, I'll say, oh yeah, I'll do it, yeah. But everything else goes the long finger, and I haven't, like, I work full time, so I haven't. This is only a hobby, like, and some evenings, like, Jesus, I wouldn't feel like coming out here at all, and some Saturdays, you'd be like, you think you're going to build the world, and Jesus Christ, you procrastinate until it's too late, and you don't bother going out, and like, I can't say no. What comes my way? Oh yeah, and then it fucking piles up and it bothers you and everything else. But kind of at the same time, it's something that
like I had to leave a lot of work. I tell a lot of people there from the weeks ago not to bring me work because I had so much to do. I couldn't get on top of it, and because I want to be able to come out to the workshop at night and make this stuff. I mean, like, that's what my evenings are for, not working on people's machines. So I've kind of given up working on machines at night. I try to go out and get these bits done because I already have a tractor to do, I have a lorry to do, I have a digger to do, I have more of these Allen man figures to make. I have a lot of stuff to make.
Oh, Stan, like they what do you call it? I keep calling it Stan. It's Kenneth, isn't it? But they what do you call it? it's good for the head. That kind of work is mindfulness. Do you know what I mean? And like art is long proven to be a good therapy, like for everything. So like it's taking time to make time. Do you know that's if you do that, and it's good for the mindfulness. You know, you will be more productive in your actual time. So you know what I mean. It's a good idea. It's a good idea, like, you know. But to say that art is the best. Putting out your artistic side is the best thing you could do for yourself. And somebody actually told me like that. Like, I remember saying one day, I said, like, the fucking place covered in scrap tractors, and they said that your art form, that's the way you kind of express yourself. And he was like, yeah, it kind of makes a bit of sense when you say that. And you know, it's and I was like, yeah, and even the V8, like, you know, everyone says, oh, why don't you paint it up and everything else?
Yeah.
And you know what do you call it? So it's your art form, like, but your art form, exploring your art form is very important. You know, some people say, "Oh, I'm not artistic," like, but you know, at the same time, then too often to do. Yeah, you might be able to paint, but like, you know, they display themselves in very eccentric ways, like.
You are in your own way. You know, everybody has a different trait, like.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Do you know, like you said, the welding, like, you know.
Go on.
Like I say with the welding, like, you know, like, just get the fucking welder and start welding. You know, you don't need to be a welder. You don't need to have the best welds ever. Like, I have more grinding discs used than welding rods. But like, you know, just like, there's no better feeling than making something. And you know, like, you can only get better as you go along. Like, do you know what I mean? And like, you know, it's a great way of expressing yourself. It's a great way of stress relief. And you know, the smell of the burning metal it's a particular type of smell, and it does good things for you.
Absolutely. It does. I'm gonna read some of the comments that we fell behind in the comments now. Badger says it all takes time, Sean. If you want a hand to spray up to 20 before the run, give me a shout. So there's that.
Badger, yeah.
Badger. Frigo Man says, pity Tom Malone wasn't still around, Sean. He would have loved it. You obviously know who Tom Malone is, yeah.
Oh, that doesn't ring a bell with me now. How much look up?
Keith, I can't remember what his second name is. Frigo Man is his name. He's in the comments there. If you just press on his name there, you can just follow him then. Plant Services Ireland says, that's Brendan. He says, we've my father's very first tractor, a 135 3-cylinder in the workshop. We're doing the engine in it now. And he has his father's 67 18 in the workshop too. And Andrew is doing that up. So I'm not sure who Andrew is. I think Andrew might be his son. Mary says, Sean, do you have a GoFundMe set up for the tractor run? I assume that'll be on the website, will it?
Yeah, there's actually a 908 page, and that'll be going on the website tomorrow as well. Mary, if you type in www.fergie, F-E-R-G-Y, and the lake.ie, it'll be on the website.
You do a video on that tomorrow when you get her up, or tomorrow evening. We'll all share the bollocks of it.
Yeah, sounds good.
So anyone who's in here now, make sure and follow Sean, because this won't work unless you're all on board. So just click on Sean and give him a follow, please. We were asked about we were talking about activities on the stopover. Frigo Man says hide the 10 millimeter socket and have a treasure hunt. He said.
Yeah. Oh Jesus, yeah, that's for sure. Or 11/16. So it seems like every bolt in these 20s is 11/16, and every time you turn around, the socket is behind you, hiding from you. I'd say I spend most of my time looking for a fucking 11/16 socket than anything else.
Yeah, I just a few people commenting on the bike and stuff there. What else we got? Airwell says he has some old Whitworth spanners can donate. Very good, Airwell. We will definitely catch up with you on that one. That man is in Roscommon. Yeah, all of them things at make it, like, all the Imperial stuff and all.
Keith,
Let,
what's the name of his bill? I can't fucking place you, Keith.
Letter we all have our artistic side, we do. Kieran Hickey, you don't be talking about teapots now. Kieran Hickey says, well, Sean, how's that V8?
Yeah, the V8's going very well. It's loud and banging, but it's actually it's missing a beat when at full revs. So I think it's either fuel or air or other. Fucking fast enough. I don't know will I do anything with it.
Plug leads.
Yeah, I done the plug leads stand. I put a new coil in it and cleaned off the plugs. I just have to gap them now properly. But I think the fuel filter, the old paper fuel filter in the back after sitting there for the winter is fucked. So I'm conscious now every time I say a curse video. Every time I say a curse now on TikTok, I'm conscious I'm fucking going to upset somebody. Even though it doesn't bother me that much, it's still there in the back of your head.
But the fuel petrol is a huge problem. Petrol only lasts 8 weeks now.
Yeah, what's that about then? I see you do a couple of videos on that.
Yeah, the ethanol in the petrol is when the petrol starts evaporating, the concentration of ethanol rises, and your tractor or your car or your strimmer or your chainsaw won't run on the high concentration of ethanol. Because petrol does evaporate. So if you have a litre of petrol, there's 80 millilitres of ethanol in it, okay? So if your petrol evaporated and you lost 250 mils, so if you lost a quarter of it, your ethanol won't evaporate. But that will still there. So now you have too much ethanol and it won't run it. So you need
the rate, good enough. Yeah. What can you do for it, Stan? Is there anything you can do for that? Or
there is additives, an ethanol stabilizer, but the long and short of it is, if the petrol evaporates, there's nothing you can do. It's the petrol evaporate is the problem. You just can't leave petrol sit for a long time.
Right.
Yeah. So if you dread out that
dump it.
Dump it. Yeah. Even you can chance it in the lawnmower, but it's a waste. Yeah. Yeah. The Briggs and Stratton doing that enough. It is good, but if your petrol evaporates out of the vent, there's nothing you can do about it. But if you can keep it, if you have a jerry can and it's locked down, it can't evaporate.
Yeah.
But if your petrol tank is vented and it's going to, it will evaporate. Do you know what I mean? But if you have a steel jerry can and you in it all, it'll be fine.
Yeah, I actually have one of them there. A lovely one. It's only like it's 2 gallons or something like that in it. But Frigo man, Keith Kinney, how the fuck? How's that, Keith? Oh, just my head is fucking fried. I'll fucking that bell will ring after a while. Don't worry. But no, that's the crack. I understand. Nothing else wild or exciting or.
Oh, that's it. Shall we? Well, come here. We I suppose we got sidetracked. A lot of people wanted to know. I know you did speak before about the V8, like, and how you built it. How
yeah.
You're charging now. You're tied. You can't move now anyway.
No, but yeah. I'll go through. 1 second now. I have 5% on it, so I'll go around.
Stay plugged in.
Have
just because your phone is turned off.
You seen the video I done on the oak that goes in on the input shaft and then in the back of the crankshaft? They printed that out on a 3D printer. Yeah, I done it myself. Yeah, designed it in AutoCAD in 3D and then just printed it out on the 3D printer. The printer's in the house there now, so I won't see it. But what do you call it? Put that on the sheet of perspex in and reversed it. But the thing was, when I got the V8 engine first, it hadn't run for a long time, so I said I got put the engine running first, and if the engine is running, then I'll go ahead and plough on with the tractor. So a local lad here in the Grinham, he's a fucking whiz at Anton Electric, and he came up and between the two of us, we got going on DCU, And I had to go down to Wexford in and get a flywheel because it was an automatic flywheel clutch that was in it. It was an automatic gearbox that was on it, so to get a manual flywheel. So down to Wexford to a guy called Rico. He's a bit of a legend in the car game, but got have fucking flywheel off him then, and the engine was running then. So then I focused on getting the engine onto the tractor. So I made the adapter plate using that chuck, and that was kind of my thing. Like there was different ways you could do it with cardboard boxes and different things, but I wanted to learn something new I wanted to learn a new skill while I was doing it. So I saw an opportunity there for 3D printing rather than getting a piece turned down with a lathe. So I used that to get up that skill. And but then when I put the adapter plate on, I put the front axle of the Ferguson 20 is bolted onto the block, you see, right? So now you have no way to carry your front axle. So you have to bring out 2 legs out of your adapter plate out to the front to carry the front axle. Yeah. The actual tractor is on the trailer since yesterday outside the house. It's in the dark, so I can't go through it. I'll actually go through it another evening, which is saying. But so you have to bring out 2 chassis legs to carry the front axle. Yeah. And when I done that, like the 2 legs were sticking out the front, I said, you know what? Now I'll extend them back under my feet to put a footboard on. And next thing they were there, and they were looked grand and everything. Like the footboard was grand, and the front piece was out. And I put a plate at the front to carry the front axle. And some lad came into the workshop one evening. He said, "Geez, there's a great roll bar in that tractor." And I looked at it like it was one of them big round ones, like it was like 3-inch tube round. And I looked, I said, "Yeah, it actually looks like it's a good nick." But I went over and I looked at where it was onto the axle, and it was red rotten. And I was saying, you know what now, like, isn't that just fucking typical? You know, the person that walks past and says, "Oh, there's a great roll bar in that tractor," and it's actually shite. So I said, like, you know, I said I'd rip that off. And next thing I was looking, I was like, you know what would be class now if I come up at an angle, say come out at an angle and up at an angle, like a double compound on the 4-inch box, and made the roll bar into one and up across and back the other leg, and made the whole chassis one, including the roll bar. I said it'd be fucking class. So that's the way I did it, and like that took an awful lot of thinking and like an awful lot of procrastination and overthinking and stressing and everything else. But eventually I went out on Saturdays and chopped up the box iron with an angle grinder and got the angles right and everything else. But it looks good. Like if you see that show now or anything, like it's from the front axle to the whole way to the back and up around the roll bar is all one piece. And what do you call it? You know, it's solid. Like if it ever did turn over, like, you know, it will stay in one piece. Like whether we'll be able to sit in the seat or not, I don't know. But it's good and fucking solid. And you know, it looks. Say that again.
You could have made a petrol tank of it.
Yeah, I actually to see where I have the petrol tank on the back of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you call it? I mounted the petrol tank up at the back of it, but I have to change that now because when you're at the shows, it's a disaster because you have a full tank of petrol there, and if fucking anyone to over smoking or anything, it's a bomb. Yeah. So you can't leave it at a show to go and get a cup of tea or anything. So I have to change. I'm going to put a keg or something or a fire extinguisher in underneath or up high, and have the petrol in that instead, just where, you know, it wouldn't get caught out with someone smoking, you know.
Yeah.
But I was saying the box iron, yeah, it would have been grand, but sure, like by the time I welded it with the arc rather than the MIG, and sure, like I blew so many holes in it. There's more bits of fucking welding rod, I'd say, in the middle of the box than anything else. But but sure, that's what I say about lads with the welder. Like, you know, like the welding, in fairness, is good on the frame, but it wasn't all good. Like I had plenty of weld done and grinded off, and see that there. That's Badger I was telling you about earlier on. That's the mark on the fucking block. But they grinded them off and redone them again until they were right. And but it's a cool machine. Like when you see the chassis, you know, it is impressive. Like the way it's done. Yeah. But I must make up something. I must make up a yoke for going to the shows with this adapter, and just because people are always asking how it was done, and when you're trying to explain, sure, like after the first sentence, they haven't a clue what I'm saying because I'm not the best at explaining and I talk very fast. But I must make up a yoke for going to the shows to show them that.
You'd want something mounted on the back arms, though. You'd want something mounted on the back arms with another gearbox, and where you can shove that on and show people this is how I did it. Like, you know.
Yeah, actually, you might do that. That's actually a good idea. Yeah.
You know,
actually.
You know.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's actually a very good idea.
Take the centre out of the gearbox, just have the shaft, and get a petrol tank made for inside it. Have the petrol tank in it.
In the fucking gearbox, yeah, good idea actually.
Gearbox.
The pipe coming out.
No,
Yeah.
never
I
know.
understand, as if I haven't the fucking enough. Is it? I won't be able to go to bed tonight now, I'll be out here.
That's what you get now for getting me to make you a trophy now. Huh?
Yeah.
You're going to suffer.
Yeah. No, actually, that's a fucking good idea. Get a transmission and put it in the back, and put the oil can into that. Rip out the gears, and put the petrol can into it. That's actually a fucking good idea. Now, that's exactly what I'm going to do. And you know what? The gears in actually. I know where there's a transmission, and the gears. Take out the gears. The gears will suit you then for the trophy. Yeah, I have to go to fucking Portlaoise now for that. Fuck it, Stan, innit?
Portlaoise?
Jeez, the more I talk to lads, the more fucking hassle I get.
Well, I'd closer to Portlaoise than you are.
Hey, what do you call it? Where are you?
Carlo,
oh yeah. I don't mind him, but there's a fellow up in Portlaoise there got parts off. Jesus, a gentleman. But he has a treasure trove of Ferguson stuff.
Right.
And what do you call it? He has it there, but I must go up to him now. I must ring him. Fucking I was to go up to him a year ago. But you know yourself now, it's very hard to get the time and young kids and yeah.
A lot going on.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. And sure, look, like I say, some days I don't feel like doing anything and I just don't do anything. So, like I say, it's funny, you might see me on TikTok and you might think, Jizz, your man is having the fucking life of it and he's saying this and saying that and saying the other, but the reality behind the whole thing is different, isn't it?
No one's going to say that after tonight.
Yeah. But
Right.
That's the story, Stan. It's fucking 3 minutes past 9 and I only get a visa to go till about 9:30, so I'm going to let you go.
Right, well look, thanks very much.
Thanks for having me on, Stan. Jesus, what do you call it? Thanks for having me on, and we'll send me your number. I have your number already, and we'll organise getting the bits for the trophy, and we'll figure out what we're going to do: raffle, auction, or a prize for best tractor or cleanest tractor or something like that.
Make sure and do a video on the website tomorrow for us, and I will share the box of it.
Yeah, I will 100%. I have event event manager coming on to me in the morning, and that should be all ready to go. And you register on the website, and then there'll be a donate page on it as well for Mary there and others that want to just donate to the event. But yeah, that's how I got involved. Like, it's not an event specifically for us or for Aidan or anything like that. There was a fundraiser for Aidan when he was here, and Jesus was woefully successful, and there's a lot of money sitting there with that we've to redistribute back out to the charities that helped us, and we just haven't faced it yet. And I suppose there's different reasons why we haven't faced it. I suppose it's grand. I might feel like doing it, but the other mightn't feel like doing it and things like that. But it will be done when the time is right. But this event it's Jack and Jill. I'm attached to it through Aidan, but it's not for Aidan specifically. It's for every Jack and Jill family in the country at the minute, in the past, and in the future.
That's very important.
Yeah, but come here, Ken. My fucking battery is actually going to die there in 30 seconds, and I'll leave it to it. Thanks for letting me on.
Catch you soon.
Yeah, thanks. Bye.
Right. Right, guys, that was a good one. Just going to read some of the comments here now. We'll go back. Kieran Hickey says he has a 55 diesel 20 himself. Jesus, Hickey, you have lots of machines in the shed. Kieran asks, where are you running the fuel lines?